Here we are back again at Retux Retreats. Thank you again, Kyle, for putting this together. It's just been a tremendous event. Kyle, you want to introduce yourself for those viewers, listeners that maybe don't know you yet?
For sure, yeah. So I'm Kyle, not sure what camera to look at here, from retention.com, VP of Marketing, Partnerships, everything inbound events. We just really love leading with community and doing these kind of community-driven events to get our name out there, meet people, and get great partners like yourself and great brands involved.
Amazing. And Brendan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Brendan Roeschel, VP of Retention CX at Fresh Clean Threads. I manage the customer lifecycle end-to-end across email, SMS, direct mail, mobile app, web, and both for US, Canada, and the UK.
Amazing. Well, I'm JJ, and I lead the marketing team here at Tapcart. And the reason, Brendan, that we were so excited to speak specifically with you is because you happen to be a customer not only of Retention, but also of Tapcart. And we thought that this would be a unique way that we could tell a story of impact and a story of value that's relevant for both Kyle's company and mine, but most importantly for yours.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Would love to kind of kick off with how you got introduced to retention in the first place. Like in your remit, retention and CX, what does success look like in that function? I guess part one, and then what around that led you to a solution like retentions?
So my golden metric is lifetime contribution margin of every customer we acquire. My success metric is how quickly are we paying back our acquisition costs with our lifetime contribution margin. So when I think about improving LTCM, I think I can either do that by increasing repeat purchase rate or growing our average order value. Every day we have all this traffic on our website, some one-time buyers, right? Some VIP customers, and a good amount of them abandon is part of every conversion funnel. And there's a ton of stats about people who abandon, spend 24, 48 hours, they're going and buying from somebody else, even repeat customers. It's super important that we have a way to retarget them as efficiently and as quickly as possible and get kind of that brand and the value prop back in their mind. We looked at retention because despite Klaviyo being a best-in-class ESP, it has its limitations on its cookie windows of identity resolution of our users. And so we are working with retention reclaim products to better identify them and retarget them when they abandon.
Why would they be a great candidate for that?
Like he was saying, the way that they actually look into the metrics and a brand of their size, when you're paying attention to the details and you have your flows built out and you have some really great programs running, there's only so much juice you can squeeze out of that email program. There's only so many A/B tests that you can run. And there's brands of certain sizes that they're still focusing on their email programs, right? They're still building out their base flows, the welcome flow, the abandoned flow. But once you kind of get to the size of these guys, you got to get creative. You have pressure to hit numbers, and it's what can we do to try to get more out of our customers? That's where we come in, where it's okay, you have these customers on your site, you're bringing them back. Google's cookie window kind of stops you in a certain time frame. We just help bring more customers back to buy. And like Brendan mentioned, you have this certain window to really capture their attention. Sure, they might come back at some day, but if they're not back in 48 hours, they're buying from someone else. So we just really want to put the power back into the brand's hands to be able to get more revenue from the traffic that they've worked so hard to get onto the site in the first place.
Were there any other ways that you thought about trying to get creative in solving that problem? Or were you already aware of retention? This is a slam dunk. I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly where I need. How did that process work for you?
I think retention was one of the big names at the forefront. I think they are especially known for having a really robust Shopify Klaviyo integration, perfect kind of fit into that stack. And so we worked with other tools that were not as easy to integrate and did kind of created this bifurcated customer experience that is not ideal. And so big no-brainer for us. We knew the space was proven, and it was really about just choosing the right tool for that need, or the right tools, frankly. Identity is not a pick the player, it's pick the best players that are incremental to one another.
Tell me more about that. What does that mean?
If we just pick simple numbers, let's say Klaviyo can identify 100 users, 100 customers, prospects, whatever we want to pick on our site today, retention might be able to identify 150 or whatever the number is, and then there might be another tool that it can do 175. You can create these Venn diagrams of each one of these tools and find out where is the overlap and where's redundancy and where's incrementality. So we ran a test to do that, and we found that despite two vendors might have a similar offer or a similar value proposition and might think that they're actually like head-to-head competitors, and for a lot of brands they might be, for us it was actually, hey, let's use both because ROI and business case is there.
Is LTCM like the primary KPI that you're measuring the success of like a retention tool against?
I think LTCM is like my overall goal as a retention and CX organization. Last click email attributed revenue for a certain customer segment, such as we split all of our abandonment flows by our loyalty program customers, who are kind of our most valuable customers, versus our non-members. And what's really exciting for me from an LTCM standpoint is not only can we grow the email revenue of our one-time buyers or non-member customers, but we also see we're getting in front of our Club FCT members, which is our water loyalty program, even more when they abandon. And so that's like what really can propel LTCM.
Any other layers of that proverbial onion you want to peel into?
So the short answer is no. I don't have anything more to add because this guy knows way more than I do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but it's just like, you know, honestly really refreshing to hear, because like, you know, I'm out talking to brands every day, and I'm definitely gonna be stealing some of the things that you're saying right now, and just like, so are you guys like talking about like LTCM? Like that's obviously one of your metrics.
It took us a long way to get there. I think that's the best in class way to think about retention. That's actually a metric. Like, I think by no means invented it, but it is, everyone has a different way of like, you hear LTV is like the widely spread term. I think LTCM is, brands don't unfortunately keep every dollar of revenue, so you can't look at CAC to LTV payback as, hey, if we spent $50 and we got $50 of LTV, like success, we paid it back, because no, we have to pay our employees, our COGS, right, everything. And so LTCM is like best way for us as brands to really say like, hey, yes, success, we've paid back this customer, and now every incremental dollar is pure profit.
Sounds like being able to better identify website traffic and then all of the second order effects that brings about has set you up to impact LTCM in a meaningful way. And it sounds like there are a number of other initiatives that you have that are chasing that same North Star, one of which is a mobile app. So I'd like to hear a little bit about like what you had in mind strategically, and like what you were looking for from the app to also impact that North Star metric.
So I think of it in terms of each one of these is like a tool in my arsenal to grow LTCM. And while retention.com was focused more on, hey, somebody was here at the site and didn't buy, like let's get them back. But they still came to the site, right? They demonstrated intent. What I wanted with a mobile app was, it's a piece of real estate, right? Always on someone's device. It opens up this new free channel of push notifications that once we have this app installed on a user's device, they will just naturally come to the site. So I'm using it to actually increase order frequency, not reduce abandonment rate. I just want to get them there. Retention was way more focused on like, hey, somebody's there, let's keep them there. If they left, let's bring them back. I think both are like big tools for us. It's just the purpose of the tool is a little bit different. But yeah, we launched our mobile app about 3 weeks ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. It's been an awesome experience. I think the mobile app is just frankly a way better shopping experience. I think like everything from load time to just like how easy it is to navigate, to just like this feels like a little more special, like a VIP experience, because everyone only has a couple apps on their phone. So if like someone has downloaded it, they've demonstrated not only to the brand but also themselves that like, hey, this is a brand I have a connection with. So like that feels pretty powerful.
What's required from like a staffing, resourcing standpoint to stand it up, to launch it, to maintain it?
The crux of setting up a really robust mobile app is partnership between the web/e-commerce team and the retention team, because it is like something solving for my KPI. It's solving for a web KPI too, right? It is still collecting data, given we launched 3 weeks ago, but hypothesis is it's going to convert better at a high AOV. So I think to answer questions, very much joint venture between e-commerce and retention.
How did you land on the decision to stand up the mobile app channel? Like, what was the vetting like, or what was the internal debate like as a company?
It's funny, a lot of like tools you have to debate, like, is this going to drive impact? With the mobile app, it was actually a very different discussion. It was like, let's just like all like pause and agree, like mobile apps are cool, right? Like they're fun things to shop. They just feel special. And so there was never really a debate of like, oh, is this like a relevant tool that will be valued by our customer? Like, it was all about workload. It was about, hey, like we have this list of 500 things that we can go spend time on and get a certain ROI for every single minute. Is a mobile app going to be a better ROI than all these other things? And so we really need to prove out is that like the workload was going to be reasonable for us to warrant that time investment. I think what we found was like, I like don't have a lot of SaaS solutions that say it's going to take X weeks to implement. In our case, it was like about 4, and then it actually is reality. And in TapCart it was, so that part was like really great. I think it was actually to the day, 4 weeks. And we didn't like, and we had like a 5-day soft launch too, where we were kind of just like QAing orders, collecting reviews in the app, etc. So it was like kind of like 3 weeks and 3 days. Yeah.
It sounds like the experience has been mostly positive. I don't think that life isn't all roses and rainbows.
Yeah.
Like we all encounter speed bumps, I think, especially in SaaS and tech. What I thought was like a pretty insightful critique on the mobile app, talking about a block that you wanted to be more configurable and flexible in a particular way. Does that resonate or strike a chord?
One of the ones I was talking about was the TapCart UI is built for getting the standard Shopify brand live with an app ASAP, and that does well. What's begging for is more personalization because we actually know who the users are. So what makes site personalization a lot harder is like you can't personalize to a user you can't identify, but in an app, once it's downloaded, you have that identity, and so it's just begging for like, please personalize to me. And I think we're still trying to figure out a solution for that.
No, you're 100% right. The reason that I took you here is so that I can play this back for my product team.
I was just going to say, I was like, please don't have any questions like that loaded for me. I don't want to take that.
No. But I mean, we're working on it. Like, it's not uncommon. Yeah. It's not uncommon feedback, and like I think that this is going to be great to play back in a couple of months when we launch some of the products that we're working on, and we can do a side-by-side and take you for a cruise and some expanded capabilities within the platform that I think are going to sequentially lean into a lot of the things that you're looking for.
I find that like initiatives that have delivered us the most value, are ones that we worked with betas on the SaaS tools that we work with. So we're all for like putting heads together early because I mean, A, it delivers value, and B, it's just like really cool having the opportunity to work with like some of the biggest Shopify SaaS ecosystem tools to shape it how FCT wants it to go.
Is there anything else that you'd like to get into this segment?
I'm good. This has been amazing. Honestly, like JJ was saying, just to be able to sit down and hear directly from the brand side and people that live and breathe it every day. Because it's like, it's so tough being like, you know, the marketing guy, right? And it's always, okay, we got to go talk to our customers. We got to talk to our customers. And I tell our like team, like, hey, go reach out for customer testimonials. Like, we need to get it this, we need to get that. We're all busy, you know, like we all have expectations. Totally. And it's, you need this kind of in-person connection, you need the storytelling, you need the atmosphere. I mean, it kind of goes back to the whole theme of the day and like why we're all here to begin with. You want to kind of improve your business through connections and bringing people together. And I think JJ, like, you know, the TapCart team, awesome production team here, setting everything up for us to be able to have these conversations and to be able to get away from some of the Retox retreat over here and have a little bit of the business and capture that knowledge. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to say thank you also for organizing all this. In order to have these conversations, and you need to have the capacity and space to do the reflection, and I think a lot of times the like bigger brand name e-commerce events are great, but they're just like so big and they're so chaos and they're so like big corporate ballroom type events that I think you don't get the same one-to-one connection with like the peers in your space. And so I appreciate you guys doing all the work.
Brendan, dude, you are a super sharp guy. Ex-McKinsey, well-spoken. Like for those that may not know you already, where can they connect with you?
I love LinkedIn. Everyone always talks about like direct-to-consumer content, but like B2B SaaS world and content, you can learn so much via LinkedIn. Yeah, I think it's like become a pretty incredible tool for just like learning things fast that you just straight up couldn't have learned out of a textbook because the answer a year ago is very different than today. So.
How about you, Kyle? Where can people connect with you?
Even though my PR team had me shooting a couple TikToks earlier today that everyone had the enjoyment of watching, can't find me on TikTok. Same thing, LinkedIn, check me out on there. Love hopping on, educating, connecting, same thing. So.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. Let's do this again sometime soon.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a blast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you too.
Nice.
Woo! Fantastic. All right.